Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. A very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today on Ron Siegel Radio. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. You're going to love this one. Let's see. Now, some of you are going to think differently than I do. Today is National Babe Ruth Day. Are they talking about the baseball player or are they talking about the candy bar? I just throw that out there for you. Not sure which they're referring to. I will probably go with the candy bar. You do as you see fit. Devil Dog Day, Tell a Story Day. And for those of you that have beaten anorexia like I have, let's see if we can get our drum roll to come in here. I'm a little quiet this morning. Today is also National Prime Rib Day. You gotta like that one. So we'll stick with the food. We always do. That's how we roll here on Ron Siegel Radio. Let's take a look at the markets today. What's going on in the markets? We look at them every day. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 272.84. S&P 500 is up 35. NASDAQ up 91. Oil is down $4.74 a barrel.
Ow!
Yeah, that's 27% down, 28% down on oil. So should we look or should we not? Well, we already know that Wisconsin is leading the country in the lowest gas in the land, $1.19. Calizuela, on average, $2.76.5. National average, $1.77.4. So about $1 a gallon less than we are paying in Calizuela. We're always in the top end of what we're paying. You look at it all the way across the middle part of the country. That's where all of the real inexpensive gas is. Minnesota, $1.56. We can look at South Dakota, $1.63. Actually, let's look over at Wisconsin, $1.19. Michigan, $1.40. Iowa, $1.47. Missouri, $1.47. Kansas, $1.49. Oklahoma, $1.37. You know, right straight down the middle of the country, you can look and see all of that cheap gas. Interesting. Is that where the pipeline is? Certainly not where the tankers are coming in, but I digress. So gas prices looking good. We're also looking at the interest rate market, the 10-year Treasury up a little bit. I guess when you're at 0.64, any upward movement is appreciated. So they're up almost 4 basis points there. Germany, negative 0.45. That's almost 0.5% negative if you're in the 10-year in Germany. Japan is negative just by a little bit. Italy, do you want to put your money there? Probably not. You're getting 1.75% interest. Spain under 1%. So almost everywhere of the major currencies, all under 1% interest. Not a good economic outlook. We're going to see, I think it comes out Friday, I think is when we're going to be seeing the BLS jobs report. That's the first of the month, I believe. We get those numbers every month. This month, it's going to be a bit of an ugly number. So we are going to be looking at around an 18.5% unemployment. That is going to be one of those real, it is what it is. We know
it is what it is.
We know what we're doing to the market. We know what we're doing to the country just by trying to stave off this virus, this pandemic. That was, by the way, intentionally caused by China. So we're going to have to see what happens there. I love listening to some of the news people talking about, asking the congressional leaders, I use that in a loose term, but asking some of the people in Congress, what are you going to do about this? Well, what do you think they're going to do about it today? Right? It's going to take time. It took us decades, many, many administrations to get in this predicament that we have with China. We're not going to get out of it overnight. That's not going to happen. So the issue here becomes, how are we going to deal with it over time? Right? We've got to put incentives in to bring manufacturing back to the United States. We don't want to get to a point where we are dependent on any country like China. And obviously, we know that that's been a strong, strong message from the president since before when he was running for office. You're not going to hear that on the lame street media. They don't want you to understand those kind of things. You're not going to hear that from Chicken Schiff or some of the others. They're not going to come out and tell you that kind of information. You're going to only get that right here on Ron Siegel Radio. They're not going to tell you, which I started sharing the end of last week, that New York talks about how great they're doing and how they understand this whole pandemic and the whole 9 yards. But they're not going to tell you that they forced seniors to go back to the nursing homes after they were released from hospitals, supposedly being virus-free or not needing hospitalization any longer. So they say, go back to your nursing home. But they don't put any rules or regulations in there for quarantining these people at the nursing home. So guess what happens? They end up infecting more seniors at the nursing homes. And New York has, about 3,500 deaths in the nursing homes. You're not going to get that kind of information there, are you? Just throw that out there. Moving right along in the rundown today. Let's see what else we've got going on. Jared Kushner on the coronavirus. We're trying to make sure we're never relying on foreign supplies again. Absolutely. We don't want to have our medical supplies coming in from another country. China's wrapped up all the PPEs that they can. They're selling masks that are a 30-cent mask or a 20-cent mask for $7 now. That's going to be some inflationary numbers, but what are we going to do about it? Right, the whole issue there is we need to make certain that they don't get to do this again. So we need to change that the supply line to come back here to get our drugs, our antibiotics, our protective equipment. Yeah, maybe we can supplement from other countries. But the idea is bring that back to the United States so we have more control over it, give them some subsidies like we may need to, because our labor rates are significantly higher than they are in China, which is what makes it so lucrative for business. Businesses are not in the business of looking out for the welfare of all American people. They're in the business of looking out for the welfare of their stockholders. I move on. Democratic leaders in Congress remain mum on the Joe Biden sexual assault allegations, despite mounting uproar from progressives. Does anybody surprised that there is a double standard?
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Not a whole lot of surprise in that one there. So we are watching that one, but we won't hear anything from the media. Now, here's the issue is we need a strong media. We need an honest media. We do not need a biased media. I've talked to you about this many, many times, that we need to get the bias out of the media. We need to get it where we can count on the fact that they're giving us true information, that they're giving us, they're the watchdog, not the gotcha, but the watchdog. They're watching what's going on. They're trying to make sure that our elected officials are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Did you see over the weekend Mayor de Blasio out there looking for $7 billion and then misleading the people as he usually does? Says New York City, just the city alone needs $7 billion is what they've lost in revenues during the coronavirus. Then he says, well, if you bailed out the airlines, why aren't you bailing out the city of New York? Well, Mayor de Blasio, maybe you need to look at the numbers again. They were not bailing out the airlines. They got loans and they got stock holdings for the money that they forwarded, the liquidity that they provided to the airlines. Do you want that? What kind of credit rating do you have, Mayor de Blasio? You go and you spend way too much money. California is going to be in the same position. California is giving out millions and millions and millions of dollars to illegals. Do you think somebody in Missouri wants to pay that bill? I doubt it. Now, I'm not in the thought process of letting people suffer, but you got people that came here illegally. If they came here illegally, we don't want them to starve, but we also, give them good incentive to go back. Just throw that out there. I know I'm going to get some hate mail for that one, but I am interested in what you have to say. Moving right along, global deaths past 200,000. Think about that one, 200,000 deaths from coronavirus. That probably could have been stopped to a major extent in Wuhan if China had been a little bit more honest. I just throw that out there for you. Did you watch any of the NFL draft? I'm going to talk to David Meltzer about that later today. He is from Sports One Marketing, good friend of mine, good friend of the broadcast. We're going to talk to David about that a little later. Is America hungry for sports, hungry for something while we're locked down like this? And I should even throw that out there. Did you stay indoors over the weekend? It was a beautiful week here in Southern California. Did you stay indoors? Did you social quarantine? Did you do all those things like the government says we should? I don't know whether it's true or not. I have my suspicions. I'm not a big fan of the government solving problems, but we'll think about that one as well. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, what impact might COVID-19 have on home values? We're going to talk with our friend David Meltzer, Sports One Marketing. He and I always have some lively discussions, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products. You just need to make the call. Again, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Dow Jones Industrial Average now up 288 points. The NASDAQ is up about 100 points. The S&P 500 up 36 points. 10-year Treasury up about 5 basis points at 0.65 roughly. And the mortgage-backed securities down 14 basis points means interest rates are slightly higher than where they were. But what does all of that mean to you? How do we get all that information? You know, all that's all basically available on google.com. What's not there is the reason you tune into Ron Siegel Radio. So we talk to you about the why of all of this happening. Why are we seeing what we're seeing? Why are the markets doing what they're doing? Well, the markets were our economy was extremely strong before this pandemic came into place. What's happening now is the market still strong? Well, stocks are higher on news that several states, including New York, are creating plans for reopening parts of their economy. Don't know if California will get in on that game or they'll just try and keep it closed all the time. You know, it is the state of confusion. The problem is businesses may reopen, but they may be left waiting for customers. Last week, CBS performed a poll showing that 2-to-1 individuals were concerned the economy was reopening too quickly. Half said they would not return to public places. 71% said they would not go to a bar or a restaurant. 85% would not get on a plane. And 87% would not attend a large event. Regarding finances, 36% polled said it's already impacting them. 41% said that it goes on for a few weeks or longer. It would start affecting them. And 17% said it will never impact them. This is important because consumer may be limited from a financial standpoint as well, not just the fear of going to public places. Maybe they just won't be able to afford to go to public places. Speaking of the impact of the COVID-19, we're looking at new information on what the economy is going to do, on what our housing is going to do, what property values are. If you want to know what our forecasts are for your specific property, just give us a call or actually send us an email or text message. You can email Ron at ronsiegelradio.com, put in your zip code, and we've got a report for you that'll tell you it's a real estate report card. So you can actually just get that report card, Ron at ronsiegelradio.com. Give me your zip code, and our team will send you back a real estate report card showing what the updated information is. It is a big earnings week. Apple, Amazon, Google, Alphabet, Microsoft all due to release their earnings. There will also be a Fed meeting this week. You know, the Fed's going to keep the Fed funds rate at 0 for a long time, but how far will they go with things like purchasing corporate and junk bonds? Oh, that's a lot of the information that you really need to know about. Initial jobless claims are going to come out on Thursday, so we'll be watching that one for you. The Fed has been buying a little bit less on their bonds to try and keep the market a little bit more stable. So we are watching all of that data for you. And I wanted to give you some information because I just got this question from a dear friend of mine this morning. And it was something that we had on our radar to chat with you about anyway, but we did want to make sure that you had this information. So you're hearing a lot, especially when you talk about our Governor Gruesome here in Calizuela. And we're talking about, you can just skip mortgage payments and it won't have any effect on you. Well, I'm going to tell you something. There are certain areas that the legislature, the government has control over. So they can dictate to the credit bureaus, hey, you cannot mark somebody as late on their mortgages if they go and get a forbearance during this time. But that's only part of the story. So the rest of the story is it's going to show up on your credit report, not that you were late, but it's not going to show up that a payment was made. I had a conversation with some underwriting folks end of last week, and they said they're going to actually look at that and say, something, if you're looking, and we expect that interest rates are going to be extremely low, they're going to get a lot lower than where they are today. But if you're looking at getting a refinancing or restructuring your home loan, and the report says on there that you've missed a mortgage payment, and it's because they put is it paid on time as a 1 or a 0 is what they put in there. So it says, no, you're not late, but you haven't made the payment, is what the notation is going to be. That's basically telling an underwriter or an investor that you can't afford that payment, that you don't have the facilities, the wherewithal to make that payment. Do you think they're going to want to write a new loan? I'm going to correlate this to something that's very simple, and many, many people understand this. When a couple gets divorced, the judge may say that one spouse A, is responsible for the mortgage. But when the mortgage was taken out, both parties were on the mortgage, spouse A and spouse B. So the divorce decree says spouse A is responsible for it, but both parties are still on the the mortgage. And when spouse B goes to get a new mortgage, they look at that first mortgage, even though spouse A is responsible for it, and they say your name is still on that, and it's still being charged against the debt-to-income ratio of spouse B. Spouse B comes and says to the lender, well, I'm not responsible for that. I've got this divorce decree that says so. Well, how does a lender get that divorce decree enforced? They have to go to court. They don't want to go to court. They don't want to go and have to get involved in it. So what ends up happening in reality is the investor says, I don't want anything to do with this. Take it somewhere else. I'd rather not do business with you. That's what we're going to be looking at with these mortgage forbearances. So if you can make your payment, if you can make your mortgage payment, it's going to be a lot better off for you in the long run to make that payment and then deal with try and get that restructuring down the road. And I saw an article, it was just sent to me this morning by a friend of mine. This came out of the Sun Sentinel. I think it's a Florida-based newspaper or periodical, or maybe it's just online. I'm not sure. Not real familiar with it. But it says that regardless of what mortgage servicer tells them, 70% of borrowers with federally backed loans will not be on the hook to repay those missed payments all at once at the end. I'd like to see the supporting documentation for that, because we have heard rumors that that's going to be the case. We know that on Fannie Mae, FHA, VA, and Ginnie Mae, USDA. Those are all going to be where we know what the plan is. You can miss those payments. Again, we're going to look at that from an underwriting standpoint until there's different guidance than there is out right now. You could still be turned down from lenders. What that's called is overlays. The lenders put on an overlay saying, we understand that the credit report doesn't say this. We see that there's been a forbearance. but we don't want any part of it. We're going to wait 2 years until we see that you're back on your feet, making your payments, because there are people that are doing it for a strategic advantage. Now, if you are one of those folks that are doing this right now because you have to, that's a different story. If you have to be getting a mortgage forbearance because it's either eat or pay the mortgage, I'm not saying don't accept the hand up from the government. And I don't say handout. I do call it a hand up from the government. Take advantage of that. Use that. That's important. But if you can continue making that mortgage payment and you're trying to do this from the standpoint of a strategic advantage for you or your family, I'm going to recommend that you do not do this at all. It's not in your best interest to take advantage. Leave that money that the government is offering. Leave that for those people that are really hurting. There's plenty of people in the marketplace that really, really need that government help right now. Don't get in the way. Now, if you're one of those that needs it, do it. Just throw that out there. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, I see he's checked in. My friend Dave Meltzer is on the line, so we're going to have a conversation with him. When we come back, we'll chat with him a little bit. We might also, maybe I'll even throw out the other reports that I do. I'll just give our plugs to our sponsors so Dave and I have more time to chat. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you missed any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. you still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Real-Time Real Estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. As I mentioned, I'm going to dispense with our regular reports in the morning because I don't get this opportunity very often to speak with my good friend Dave Meltzer. Welcome, sir.
Hey, how are you, Ron?
I'm doing wonderful. Glad to see you. You're on. Every time I go on online, I see you're out there somewhere doing something new other than traveling.
It's so nice. And my whole career on the media side started right there next to you. You've always been such a gracious, humble, unbelievable guy. I always say, I'm listening to your promotion there. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Ron Siegel's the man, and I have to say hi. But most of all, I just wanted to say thank you. My career would not be where it is without people like you. Specifically, you've been a great supporter, you, your wife, since I started speaking, coaching, and doing media. So thank you.
My pleasure. I mean, I love watching what you're doing, and I love more than that, I love our friendship. That's what's most important to me. And I know that the big part is always, I've said this from day one, and after reading your books and whatnot, I've seen that it's your mission as well. It's all about the heart. Right, that's where it all comes down to. I mean, all the other stuff is wonderful, but if you got people that have the right heart doing the right thing, that's what's most important in our world.
Yeah, no doubt. It's so interesting. I was with Deepak Chopra last week, and he basically said the same thing. Wayne Dyer's rule number 6: the Xanders family teaches one thing: don't take yourself so god darn seriously, and do good deeds. It's people get so caught up, even now with the compressed time of uncertainty and accelerated growth and change that we're going through. People are taking themselves so seriously. It's like, hold on a second. If you just make it simple and you're kind, so many things will happen for you.
Isn't that the truth? I mean, and right now, unfortunately, there's way too many people. I think that we'd have a lot better off society. Ironically enough, you look at go on TV during the day or at night, in the evening, and all you hear is all kinds of fighting from all kinds of people. And then you can get on, if you come on to things like this, where you can also, you get a real message like you're sharing. I've had an opportunity a couple times. My son is, I think, one of your biggest fans. He sees that, he says, Mr. Meltzer's online, and everything in the whole world stops when Mr. Meltzer's online. So, but you're bringing a message of positivity to everybody that's listening to you. And David, I want to throw this out to you. I thought about you last night as I was listening to some reports, and they were talking about how great the NFL draft was. And I think what it really was is people just wanted something positive or something to grab a hold of in these times.
Yeah, you got to find the light, love, and lessons. And the draft was an opportunity to go back and say, wait a second, we have all these extraordinary things going on. And I help people, it's interesting in your business, right? There's going to be more millionaires made in real estate and mortgage than ever before. And yet most of the people, the 99 percenters, they don't see that, right? They're looking for the voids, the shortages, the obstacles. And that's where I think entrepreneurs have a huge leg up, over everyone else, because they're always looking for opportunity. They always are seeking how they can help people make money and have fun. And that's the 1% that will take advantage of what I call the margins of millionaires. They'll smile through the struggle. They'll take advantage of all the opportunities. And, I use that word, take advantage. People keep telling me on my shows and stuff, I feel bad, things are going well. My coaching clients, Dave, I feel bad. I just made twice as much. I said, wait a second, you cannot be poor enough to make anybody rich. But I promise you, you can be rich enough to make a whole bunch of people rich. And so stop apologizing if you know how to create wealth and speed up this money, because in real estate, in these industries that money doesn't stop, right? It may have slowed down, but just let's all speed it up and get in its way and take your share and help other people with it.
Something I share that because of you, if you look at the banner that goes across the bottom of my screen a lot of the time, I still have the same the motto that you allowed me to adopt from you. I still share that all the time, and I love that concept of just, right now, my oldest son was over the other day, and he was in the box business. There's not a lot of manufacturing going on, and I said exactly what you said. There's a lot of opportunity out there. Right? If you're out there and look, restaurants are going to need a whole lot of new head coverings and face coverings and gloves. You just have to look for it. And like, as you mentioned, real estate, it's a little tumultuous right now, but get prepared, right? Look for opportunity. It's all there, right, Dave?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just think in your business too, like there's so many different variables. Find the expert like you. And part of the reason I want to come on here is people ask me, Dave, what should I do? I said, pick and choose the industry, the career, the business, something that you're looking at. If you can't do it, then go look at the stock market and look at 50 companies that are doing well, or 50 companies that are stable, or even 50 companies that have been crushed. And then go find an expert, right? A Ron Siegel that have been doing this, not to age you, my brother, 30 years, 30 years in the same area, right? Knows his stuff, and say, all right, where are the opportunities for me? Here's my situation. I got 3 properties. I got 1 property. I got a commercial property. I got this. Where are the opportunities? Because everywhere there's someone that moves one way, there's something to take advantage of the other. I always say there's more millions made just from people buying stuff that's oversold, right? So there'll be a ton of opportunities to buy stuff that oversold. I personally, right, refinance. Interest rates, you don't have to get the bottom. There's no difference between 3% and 2.8. Don't time it, but there is a big difference between 3 and 4. Okay. Right. And so, if you have an opportunity to refi, right, this is a great opportunity to do so. There's so many different things that you can do, as in refinancing and cashing up, getting some position to take advantage. If you could pull money out of something, in 6 months from now, use that money, you may have just changed your entire life. I got two girls, for example. One's 18 and one's 21. I'm preparing them to do their first time buyer, 3.5% down, right? Buy a multi-unit, teach them how to manage a property. It'll set them up for life, because they're going to get it at a discount. The interest rates are low. They got to live somewhere anyway. They got friends who want to live with them. They might as well make money off of their friends instead of their friends paying someone else. Learn how to there's so many positives. That opportunity never would have been literally just 6 months ago. I wouldn't be thinking about getting my 18-year-old and 21-year-old into their first property.
Isn't that amazing? Could you imagine where we would be right now if we had started buying properties at 18 years old?
Yeah. And learning about it, right? Not just buying, but learning about it.
Right. Yeah. And understanding that, and then keeping them. And what you just said, Dave, makes so much sense, is cash out, pull some cash out of it, and keep that property, and just building a portfolio of real estate. By the time they're 40 or 50, they're not gonna have gray hair like you and I.
Or hair. I got one little wave left in the front here.
Yeah, that is, and it's amazing. But what you're saying there, Dave, without having said it, is you're changing the paradigm, right? There's a lot of people that are saying, "Woe's me, I can't go out, and I'm tired of sitting up my walls." And Mark Cuban made a great comment the other day on one of the shows. He said one of the biggest questions that's going to come out of this pandemic for hiring is, what did you learn during this time that you were quarantined at home? Right? If you learned how to be a real estate investor, or to buy a property and be a property manager, Look, and it's what you're saying is take advantage of this time.
Oh, you're nailing the best piece of advice. I'm blessed to, be able to share some time with Mark and understand the light, the love, and the lessons and everything. But think about this. Most kids, this is the interesting thing. Most kids 38 and under, not 28, not 18. But think about this. Most kids 38 and under don't know what it's like to have a competitive employment market. Right? They haven't had a real job in a market that wasn't growing, that you couldn't go ahead. People weren't hiring. Well, if you're not looking at the skills that you have, the capabilities that you have, and how you can develop and enhance them and get help with them that are synergistic or supplementary to companies that are doing well, industries that are doing well, or stable companies or industries, if you're not looking at that, or even if you're an entrepreneur, looking at ones that you feel are oversold and will bounce back, like casinos, there's certain things you just know from the history of time that if you don't think casinos are going to rebound, right? In what world has gambling not been around or not been successful? If I've ever had an opportunity to be a bookie, I would have legally, right?
Right.
And now 20 out of 18 states legalize sports betting. If you don't, I know it's all crushed right now because there's no sports, there's no betting on sports, and there's no casinos. They're all closed. But don't fool yourself. However many months, if you're not looking how your skills are synergistic or supplementary to one of those three categories, doing well, stable, or going to do well soon, you're making a huge mistake, because there's going to be a hyper competitive market, and the 1% of the 1% that are prepared are going to do better. They're sitting in the margins of millionaires, and everyone's going to call them lucky, but you're not lucky. You were the ones that, instead of wasting this time at home with the why me attitude, you took a try me attitude and you started trying new things, developing new things, and getting new things into your life. And you're sitting there, as we're old enough to know those people, the ones that had try me attitudes in 2008, 97, 93, and even before that. I remember being with Eddie DeBartolo, 2008, when I was losing everything. 2006, everybody was laughing at him because he was selling off all his high rises. 2006, right? Nobody was selling anything, right? And he's 2009 and 10, he was buying them all back at 10 cents on the dollar. That's the only thing that made up for him losing the Niners, honestly. But you have that opportunity right now. I know one thing about the economy. It's probably not going to go up in the next 12 months. So if you own a property, most likely it's not going to be worth more in 12 months. It may be worth the same, can't tell you, but most likely it's going to be worth less. So you might as well take that fact and make money off of it.
That's some great information, and you're so spot on. And I hear that the biggest obstacle I hear some people come up to, we just solved even that one, Dave. And I'm going to talk about it just for a couple seconds before we go to break. But you don't even need that 3.5% down right now. If you're that 18-year-old and you've got a job, we've got in many instances up to $25,000 we can give you. Notice I said give you for a down payment to help you get a new home. Think about that. And the interest rate is not outrageous, maybe 2.75 to 3.5% interest on a 30-year note. With down payment assistance, why are you thinking about renting? Study the market. Now, I'm not going to say that you should do it. I'm not going to say you shouldn't do it. We can't do that on radio. But the idea is, I can tell you one thing that you should definitely do.
Learn more.
Study. What?
Learn more. That's what they should do.
Exactly. Study. Yeah, we're saying the exact same thing, Dave. Study about it. We're going to be back in just a minute with our friend Dave Meltzer. We're going to talk about what he's been up to lately. He's got a podcast going. He's got TV things going. He's got Instagram things going. But all of it's geared to help you. So we're going to learn more about what Dave Meltzer's been up to, how you can be a part of what he's involved with. Just stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few. Oops, if I can get my keyboard working here.
Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my mission. I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. They all are. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions for you. You just need to go to the site, check it out. I was just chatting with some folks yesterday. Yes, we're allowed to still talk. I know that some people say that we're not supposed to do anything during this quarantine time, but I was chatting with them yesterday, and they had the comment that, well, I'm not sure my credit is okay to buy a house. And I said, well, you can go back and look at the program that we did on FICO Up Yours. It's on YouTube channel. And start working on that right now. Learn something during this time. If you're not out there as an essential worker and you're at home, make the time productive. That's the Your Credit Matters segment. I'm back with my friend Dave Meltzer on the line. So, Dave, I know normally April you'd have been out there talking at the Masters tournament. Now you can't even do that. Are they going to move? Are you going to still have all your goodies for the Masters next? What is it? Was November they're going to do it?
Yeah, if they do, I have a different philosophy. I'm working my way back from a vaccine. So the way that I'm strategizing is that I know only one stabling factor that will occur, and that's when we get a vaccine. I'm also very confident we will have a vaccine. I know, unlike 100 years ago when people may be worried about that fact, we have, Watson and other supercomputers working on exactly how we can kill this virus. But until we have a vaccine, we're going to have extraordinary uncertainty and change. And so within sports, with the surges of what could happen since, the COVID virus is like a wildfire. The only virus that's stronger than the COVID is happiness. Happiness actually spreads by witnessing it and strengthens your immune system. So that's my life's mission. But moreover, I'm taking the end point is, okay, what am I going to do until the vaccine comes out? And then once the vaccine comes out, there'll be a sense of stability in business and finance and education and in sports. And so we'll be able to have mass gatherings and open travel around the world and all the things that we need. I think before then, because it only takes one person to create a pandemic all over again. We are going to have to make sure that we're making business and life decisions until we have that one endpoint. So I think it's important for people to have that certainty, one, that we're going to get a vaccine, and two, that there will be no certainty until we have it.
Well, you know something, Dave, you're a proponent, I know, and living proof that I had this conversation on air on Thursday, is you never want to get in the way of American ingenuity, right? That vaccine is going to come, or there's going to be some sort of a drug that'll solve it, kind of like they did with polio or with penicillin when that came out, something along those lines. But it's going to be American ingenuity, and there's, like you said, Watson and all of these great American scientists, and I believe it will be. I'm a big flag waver. So I believe it will be an American scientist that's going to come up with the solution to this, and we're going to be able to go have fun again.
Yeah, no, I'm a big entrepreneur guy. I have my podcast, The Playbook. I have my TV show, Elevator Pitch, all of these entrepreneurial things. And I always told people that I get a great sense of security and calmness with American entrepreneurship, because not only does it create such a strong economy as we've proven worldwide, but it also creates great certainty and security and health, including, people look at the environment and they are spending so much time on what do we do with plastics, where do we put them? And I said, no, there's entrepreneurs out there right now that are creating things that regenerate plastic into something healthy and positive, right? There's sprays out there to close our hole in our atmosphere. We can as easily create an invention that closes the hole as we did to open it. Right? If
Sure.
aerosols are doing that, we can create aerosol to close it. And this is the way that entrepreneurs think, right? They're thinking about solutions, not problems. And I think you'll find throughout this period that the great entrepreneur is the one that looks for opportunities, the margins of millionaires, and they also save the earth. They also save the people. These are entrepreneurs, people that you don't even think about, like Tesla and Edison and Einstein, that have saved the world. With their literally inventions, innovations, and monetization of those themselves.
And something, I would submit that there's nothing wrong with making money on these things, right? I think it's great to make money on all of these things. Give me my straw. I want a plastic straw that's not going to, when I put it in my iced tea, it's not going to break down, and I'm not going to have that paper taste.
Ugh.
And like you said, let's find a solution of what, you and I, the entrepreneur can't solve the problem of the individual that wants to be a jerk throwing the straw on the ground. But if they'll put it in the recycle bin, like you said, they're going to find something to do with that that's going to be great for the environment.
Yeah, and eventually they'll figure out a way to have dissolvable plastic and other things as well. Like entrepreneurs, I'm telling you, we should put our money and invest in education and innovation. And they go hand in hand. And I think the good parts about this accelerated time of uncertainty is it made us rethink things faster, rethinking our education, rethinking, our financial situation, rethinking our housing, rethinking all of these different things, and including our environment. It's amazing how quickly people see a change of the environment just because, we've had 6 weeks of less traffic. It's amazing, right? So it starts giving entrepreneurs ideas. Oh, why don't we do this then? Why don't we do this? I'm very excited about our future. I think that, I'm never afraid of struggle. I think that we need toughness and telephone in order to change the world. It's two arts that were lost from our generation.
Yeah.
I'm teaching my kids to be tough, a try me attitude, and I'm teaching them to use a telephone the right way, not just sitting and Googling and Snapchatting and tweeting. Although, I have a huge Instagram presence. I'm not looking to go against myself, but there's nothing wrong with picking up a phone and calling or even Zooming someone and actually moving them emotionally.
Something, when I talk to some of the real estate agents that I counsel, I say there's 5 words that can change your real estate business. And I think it's in many, many other industries as well. Pick up the damn phone.
I love it.
It's all about the relationship. I mean, you can't have a relationship by texting or by Snapchatting or any of those other things. Pick up the damn phone, say hello to a friend. And if you're doing it with an ulterior motive, it's going to be smelled out. But if you're doing it just for the love of people and the human kindness, that's also smelled out.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what you're up to now, Dave, because I know that you have the podcast and
So,
10-second or 20-second or whatever.
Yeah, so I've used my brand over the last 3 years for a mission to empower others, to empower others, to empower others to be happy. So I created content in order to help inspire people. I'm looking for 1,000 people like you, Ron, that can inspire 1,000 people to inspire 1,000 times 1,000's a million times 1,000's a billion. I believe that with people like you helping me, inspiring people to be happy, that we can change the collective consciousness of the entire earth with 1 billion people that are happy. And abundance comes with happiness. You talk about, nothing wrong with making money. Yeah, it's what you do with your money. Right? If you shop for the right things, tons of people will be happy. If you shop for the wrong things, we could have some problems. And that's occurred in my personal life 13 years ago. And that's the major shift that I made in transformation to help people be happy by making money, helping people and having fun. And so I have a TV show called Elevator's Pitch, a podcast called The Playbook. I do free trainings every Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., 11 a.m. and 2 Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Free trainings every single week for an hour, 11 a.m. to noon here in California, around the world, actually. But it's been a big blessing that allows me to get that.
Where do we find that training?
My email's up there, david@dmeltzer.com or @David Meltzer or dmeltzer.com. All of my, David Meltzer handles will take you to the free training and you can register. I give my books for free. I give my podcast for free. My television show, Every Pitch for Entrepreneurs. I have World's Greatest Motivator TV show on WGN. I'm providing as much content for free as I can. I've lived a blessed life, and I want to help other people live a blessed life by blessing others. Remember, happiness is the greatest disease. It's a virus that's spread by witnessing it alone, and it strengthens our immune system. You can't find anything wrong with happiness.
That's a great mission. Right, because it's so much. I heard I was listening just recently. They were talking about, the hydrochloroquine and how it may or may not be working right now. And I don't want to talk about whether it is or it's good or it's not good. But they've said that they're finding that there's some people that have got placebos and got better. And it has to do exactly with what you're saying. It's a state of mind.
Absolutely. I always say people, I wear bracelets and I do some funny things spiritually, and people say, why you do that? I'm like, 2 reasons. 1, there's no risk. 2, it works for me. So like if I gave people drops of water in a pill and called it a happiness pill and it worked for 10% of the earth, good for me, right? It worked. Sure. What would be the risk? What would be the risk? Taking a water pill? Terrific. So I believe in placebos. I believe in any kind of weird woo-woo, whatever you want to call it, stuff, as long as there's no risk or very little risk, or the risk at least. In Mexico, they said your true enlightenment came from cutting your head off. That's too much risk for me. What if it didn't work? But, wearing my bracelets every day, saying it brings me good luck, it works for me, man. Nobody's luckier than I am, and I'll wear these bracelets till the day I die.
Yeah, something that's the whole idea. It's all about your attitude. And I think I don't know who it was that first said your attitude determines your altitude.
Absolutely.
Right. If you can be happy out there, going out and helping others, God bless, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. So tell us again where we can find all of your stuff, because I only got about 30 seconds left.
Yeah, @David Meltzer, dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com. Anywhere. You also text me. I have a text community, 949-298-2905, 949-298-2905.
Beautiful. I appreciate you coming on. Don't make it so long till you come on again next time.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you for always helping me.
I appreciate it, and we appreciate watching you and all the things you're doing for everybody. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. If you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.